Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another chapter of Comments from the Peanut Gallery. President Trump and his tweets. I love them. They've always been amazing. It's been the one way that he can bypass the media. Now, I know they're not all bad, but the 10 horns on the beast, the top 10 news media outlets of the world, most of them are pretty corrupt. They've proved it over and over again. But there are good ones. I like Sky News of Australia, and there's another one. What is it? One American Now. There's a couple of them out there, a few, that will actually tell the truth. But if you want to know the truth about, what he says, what he believes, what his intentions are, look at his tweets. His tweets of all the crazy things. Anyhow, so his tweets. There's another thing, because what they do is they keep the opinion of man and the shenanigans of man out of there. News media's got some really corrupt opinions, and they push some things really bad. You know that. So do I. I think everybody knows it. But he, with the tweet, will bypass, because you get it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Without somebody saying, oh, this is what he said. I know he said this over here, but this is what he meant. Okay. Sometimes things can pivot on one word. Right and left is only one word different. Stop and go is only, but when it goes in the opposite direction, it can be a real problem. Now, how I am in my comment for the day, I will show you one thing where if you go to the news media or the home office, you can get things totally, completely sideways. I'll give you an example. Now, have you read the book or heard The Grapes of Wrath? Have you heard that one? Read that book? We'd had to read it in high school. I didn't like it at all. Anyhow, The Grapes of Wrath, or The Wrath of God, or the... My nephew, my sister's oldest son. Youngest sister's oldest son. Nope, oldest sister's youngest son. No, that's not right either. My oldest sister, oldest son. There, we got it. He is a Greek scholar. Greek and Latin. That doesn't mean that we agree, because he very much grew up in a Baptist environment. Not that the Baptists are bad. Not saying that at all. No way, okay? But you better check with the home office to find out what you believe. And now, as a Greek scholar with umpteen years of college behind him, master's degree and all of this stuff, and he now teaches at a university in California, I have had some conversations with him about words. Last one that was rather became interesting was about the book of Revelation. I thought I would perk his interest. No, not perk his interest. I thought I would stick him with a pin by saying, hey, tell me what these two words really mean. And I had my sister communicate that to him in California before he was coming here for a few-week vacation to assist some stuff with his mom. The words in Revelation were the ones that are translated wrath. And I said, I have my opinions about them, but could you research them and tell me what you find? So he was prepped for the question when I encountered him. Now, we were sitting across the table and brought up the book of Revelation, And he immediately went to, this is the wrath of God. It's all the whole book. The whole book is the wrath of God being poured out upon mankind. And I said, bullshit, no, it's not. I said, look at those two words that I asked you to research. Tell me about them. And he got really red in the face. Not so much angry as embarrassed. He is, almost 30? About 30, not married. And the two words that are translated wrath, one of them specifically means heavy breathing, something that exerts physical energy that demands an increased oxygen intake. Heavy breathing. That is the literal meaning of the word. That is translated wrath. Now the other one, that one is excitement of the body. Heavy breathing, wrath. And it's always, in Revelation, it's always, whenever that word comes up, it's translated wrath. The other one that's always translated wrath in Revelation is excitement of the mind. There's a lot of things that can excite your mind, and the actual Greek word behind that is orgy. That is the Greek word behind this word in Revelation that's translated wrath. The word is orgy. That is excitement of the mind. Now, where this shows up, and this is, I'm getting to the example. If you got patience to, here, I will print the whole thing on the end of this chapter, episode, and the part that was referencing is, it is Revelation chapter 14, verses 12 through 20, okay? And what is the grapes of wrath? Okay, the grapes of wrath. And it's talking about end times. Now, have you ever heard in some sermon someplace, and they're talking about the wrath of God? They're talking in Revelation, the wrath of God. Have you heard? Probably. If you've been in a church in a box, you've heard it. Where the wrath of God poured out upon mankind, and there's going to be a time when the enemies are taken before him, and they're slain before him. They're run through this wine press and smashed and squished, and the blood comes out of the wine press up to the horse's bridle, and a river 200 miles long of blood. It's blood 200 miles long and up to the horse's bridle. It's the wrath of God poured out upon mankind. Now, this is like, go back to the original tweet, because God he tweeted to a whole bunch. It's called the Bible, and we can get it right from him rather than those that stand in between, because you know what? The truth is a whole lot better. Because where they get this, where this angel comes out and he's got a sickle and he puts in the sickle to reap. Why? There, I'm going to read it. I have it right here. I'm going to read it. The one spot. Let's see. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, also having a sharp sickle. And another came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried a loud cry unto him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. Now I should have looked. I think that one is the heavy breathing. It's the passion, the desire, excitement of the mind or of the body. Any of you that are married know that there's heavy breathing that goes along with certain activities. But on others, you're just enjoying the journey, and that can cause heavy breathing too. Running down the road can cause heavy breathing. And there's all sorts of things. Catching a big fish can be excitement of the mind and of the body. Like you caught this big fish, you're so excited, you're so happy. And in this case, it's God who is so excited and so happy about something. What? Oh. Thrust in thy sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Her grapes. Now remember what God told Abraham? I know you remember. The stars of the sky, or the sand of the seashore, so shall thy seed be. And Jesus' first miracle upon the earth, when he mapped out his entire plan and intent, he did right there. He turned the water into wine. The wine is what he is after. And the question here is, how many grapes? How many grapes? I'm asking you a question. How many grapes does it take to make a river of wine? The blood of grapes. Wine, the blood of grapes. A river of wine that is 5 feet deep and 200 miles long. Tell you what, that's a lot of grapes. A lot of sons and daughters, because that was the picture in God's mind all along. More sons and daughters than he can count. People that want to be with him forever. Now, we got cows. You've seen the cows sometimes. What kind of a fruitcake would I be? What kind of a nut would I be? And you can be honest about this. What kind of a nut would I be if I kept the manure and got rid of the cows? Huh? Tell me, how stupid is that? To keep the manure and destroy the cows. Smash them. Throw them in the dump. But that's what, if you don't go back and search it out yourself and get the truth, don't go to the home office. Go to the Word, the original yourself. Don't take somebody's word. Go right to the tweet. God has been tweeting to us from the formation of the earth. He's been tweeting to us. He put it all in one book called the Bible. Go to the source. God is good, and he's good all the time. But sometimes his goodness comes out like drowning Pharaoh's army in the depths of the sea, the Red Sea. You know, it's time for Pharaoh's army to be drowned in the Red Sea again. Yeah. Liars that they are, cheaters that they are, and will keep the wine. The wine is what he wants. Yeah. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even onto a horse's bridle, by a space of 1,600 furlongs. A river of wine. It's been the picture in God's eye all along. His kids, it's representative of the wine. He turned the dirty water into wine, and not just okay wine. You, through the new birth, are the best wine. He saved the best for last. You're awesome through the new birth. The BC, the before Christ you, might be really pukey and icky. You know, a lot of us were that way. But born of God, you is awesome. The best wine. He saved the best wine for last. So go back to God's original tweets and look at that. And have a good dose of the truth. There you go. Enjoy the journey.